it's not darker. Got it darker? Let's see what's up. Listen, why? Hey, is the camera flickering light and dark on your guys' side? Like it's trying to adjust, but it keeps flickering? That's what it's looking like on my side, or is it steady? Oh. Ah. Left my notes in the ride. Why you guys, it is flickering? I don't know what's up. Why is it doing that? So it's going dark to light, dark to light. If you move, the light adjusts. I need to stop moving then, huh? Let me put it back then. I forgot my notes in my ride too, so I might have to run. Is that better? It's still doing it, huh? Better phone, sucky quality. Let me see if I go side to side. Yeah, it's still doing it too. Oh, man. This is lame. Maybe I just gotta stay close. You guys get up close and personal. Maybe something like that. No. Still doing it. That's lame. Let's try something like this. It could be the window. Maybe it's the window. Oh, there we go. It's probably the background window. Forward, stay. Go back, stay. See. Yeah, it's the window. So the camera just doesn't work good with the back of the window when you have backlight. I left my notes. I'll be back in about less than 2 minutes. So while you do that, you guys can talk to each other on the thing, and then we'll get into the book. All right, let's do it. Welcome, welcome, welcome to True Hebrews United. Definitely thank the Almighty. Give all honor to the Almighty, creator of heaven and earth and all that is in therein. Author and finisher of our faith. Without him, we could do nothing. We could be nothing. And definitely appreciate him in all things. Definitely double honors to the apostles, the prophets, evangelists, the teachers, the elders, the bishops, the deacons that's teaching this gospel. And I do need a haircut. But I was supposed to do it like 2 weeks ago, but I've been busy every single Sunday. Can't even get a haircut in. But nonetheless, definitely thank the Almighty for the ministers really holding the gospel, pressing line, trying to get people to be saved. Definitely all the people across the whole planet living holy, clean, keeping the Almighty's commandments, statutes, judgments, precepts, and ways. All the brothers and sisters doing it. People on Facebook, the YouTube, that share, like, and subscribe to the channel. And all the people across the world trying to hold a standard, come to this gospel. You may not be baptized, you may not be even on his payroll, but you're making steps to stop smoking cigarettes, to stop fornicating. You're making that progress to get to your place and make your vessel clean enough to where he'll give you his spirit. He puts new wine in new bottles. You got to clean it out for him to put that new wine in. If you want his spirit, you got to repent. He's not giving his spirit in a dirty vessel. You know what I'm saying? It's no different than a man's not trying to marry a whore. You know what I'm saying? And a woman ain't trying to marry a homeless person. You know what I'm saying? That's That stuff just don't happen. So in like manner is, you know, if you want to get into his covenant and if you want to be his wife, you need to be clean. You want to be the bride of Hamashiach, you need to be clean. He's not marrying no whores, and neither are we, right? So, all the people that's really present in line, all the ones in Africa suffering persecution from the Muslims, all the people in China for their atheist religion, abandoning Bibles, all the people across the world that they are coming against, whether the movies they make that are sacrilegious against the Bible, all that stuff, all the AI that goes against the Bible, but you can't have them quote anything from the Quran or how it's false. If you ask them, they're like, we don't want to offend, but you can ask the AI to quote any scripture in the Bible and it'll do it. And it'll try to interpret the Bible, but ask AI anything to do with the Quran and it won't do it. That's how you know that religion is false. But nonetheless, that's one way, not only because they be sleeping with little kids and stuff, but that's one way that, you know, we're suffering persecution through AI and through all the brothers and sisters in these countries really trying to serve the Most High and live holy. Shout out to them too. All the Facebook and YouTube people, share, like, and subscribe, and comment on the videos. I appreciate you guys. I want you guys to make it into the kingdom. So for that, anytime I will write, I will flip the camera around. I was actually going to do it today, but then that flickering situation. So then I was like, all right, let me just do it regular. But we will be working on trying to improve our quality and taking one step at a time. So even though I'm a little bit late, like 11 minutes late, this will be a shorter service because I do want to bring up some news. I haven't hit the news in a while. So I want to bring up the news a little bit and give some words of exhortation to the brothers and sisters. And we could go from there. So with all that said and being done, let's let the fingers do the walking and the scriptures do the talking. Luke chapter 17. Luke chapter 17, verse 11. Luke 17, verse 11. Let's get it. Luke 17, verse 11. All right. And it came to pass as he went to Jerusalem that he passed through the midst of Samaria and Galilee. And he entered into a certain village, and there met him 10 men that were lepers, which stood afar off. And leprosy was also where your skin starts to decompose, kind of like Ebola, but it starts to eat itself up, sometimes even to the muscle, sometimes even to the bone. But if it gets healed up, it'll turn like white. Like you see some people, that was another definition of leprosy, where they're black, but they have patches of white skin. That was also another term back in the day for leprosy as well, where you have the patches. But that isn't the flesh-eating leprosy where you had to get kicked outside of the camp. But let's keep going. And as he entered a certain village, there were lepers which stood afar off, and they lifted up their voice and said, Yeshua, Master, have mercy on us. Look, they even called him Master. They even acknowledged him and gave him the title. When he saw them, he said unto them, go shew yourself unto the priest. And it came to pass that as he went, they were cleansed. And one of them, when he saw that he was cleansed, he turned back with a loud voice and glorified the Most High. And he fell down on his face, and his feet, giving thanks. And he was a Samaritan. He wasn't even a Hebrew. And Yeshua answered, were there not 10 cleansed? But where are the 9? There are not found to return to give glory to the Most High, except this stranger. And so that's when I deal with, a Hebrews having a high horse, I'll be pulling from this scripture as well, because there's plenty of other scriptures where they think they're better than the Gentiles, and as far as to where they're condescending towards them. And yet plenty of times people were raised from the dead. Leprosy was cleansed. The second leper that was cleansed, that wasn't a Hebrew. But nonetheless, my main point is they came to him for the wrong reasons. And yes, you came to him to have mercy and to be cleansed from your leprosy, but you didn't come to hear his teachings. You didn't come for salvation. You came just for a need and only a need, to the point to where they even say master. It says in the Bible that people will come with a lot of pleasantries and a lot of theatrics when they want to borrow money. and have much respect for you. But when you come to collect the money, then they're all, well, you'll just get it when you get it. And I don't have time. But when they came to ask, you'll see it all the time. When they need something from you, they come real humble, they're real polite, they watch their tongue, bridle their tongue, real, real well behaved until it's time for them to pay you back. Man, I don't have time. Well, I'm trying, man, and man, stuff is going on, and I got my own needs. Like, you weren't like that when you asked. And the same thing, Master, have mercy on us. Have mercy on us. And 9 of these people went cleansed, knew they were cleansed, and just kept it pushing. Just full on kept it pushing. But this man came back and humbled himself and says, we're not 10, this is few. So they came for the wrong reasons. Let us serve for the right reasons. Go ahead and give me John chapter 6, Gospel of John chapter 6. One book to your right. Start at verse 1. 1 John chapter 6, starting at verse 1. After these things, Yeshua went over the Sea of Galilee, which is the Sea of Tiberias, and a great multitude followed him because they saw the miracles which he did that were diseased, because the people got healed. And Jesus went up to the mountain, and there he sat with his disciples, and the Passover, the feast of the Jews, was nigh. And Yeshua lifted up his eyes and saw a great multitude come unto him, and he said, when shall we buy bread that they may eat? And he said to prove them, for he himself knew what he would do. And Philip answered, 200 pennies worth of bread is not sufficient for them, that everyone should have, that them may take a little. And of these disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, said unto him, there is a lad which hath 5 barley loaves and 2 small fishes, but what are they among so many? And Yeshua says, make the men sit down. Now there was much grass in the place, and the men sat down, and the number of them was about 5,000. Yeshua took the loaves when he had given thanks and distributed unto the disciples and to them that were set down, and likewise the fishes as much as they would. Then they were all filled, and said unto the disciples, gather up the fragments that remain, and nothing may be lost, nothing be lost. Therefore they gathered to get them together, and filled 12 baskets with fragments of 5 barley loaves, which remained above them that had eaten. And those men, when they had seen the miracles Yeshua did, it says, of the truth, this is a prophet that should come into the world. Check this out. They said, this is the prophet that was prophesied. Shalom, everyone. Shalom, Gabriel ben Yehuda. And when Yeshua therefore perceived that they will come and take him by force to make him a king, his time wasn't yet. He is the king, but his time wasn't yet. He departed again into the mountain himself alone. Check this out. And when the even was now come, his disciples went down to the sea and entered to the ship and went over towards Capernaum. And it was now dark about the time Yeshua was come to them. And the sea arose by reason of great wind and blew. So when they had rowed about 5 and 20 or 30 furlongs, them seeing Yeshua walk on the sea, they draw nigh unto the ship, and they were afraid. But he said unto them, it is I, be not afraid. And they willingly received him into the ship, and immediately the ship was at land whither they went. The day following, when the people stood on the other side and saw that there were none other boat, said the one wherefore the disciples are entered, that Yeshua went not with his disciples into the boat, and his disciples were gone away alone. However, there came other boats to Tiberias nigh to the place that he did eat bread after the Lord had given thanks. And when the people therefore saw Yeshua was not there, neither his disciples, they also took ships and came to Capernaum seeking Yeshua. And when he had found him on the other side, they said unto Rabbi, where camest thou? And Yeshua answered them and said, verily, verily, I say unto you, seek me, not because you saw the miracles, but because you did eat of the loaves and were filled. It's strange how they said, isn't this the prophet that was spoken? And they were going to take him by force and make him a king. And that yet they still sought him for the wrong reasons. They still sought, we're going to make him a king for the wrong reasons. They still sought him for the wrong reasons. Labor not for the meat which perish, but for that which meat which endureth unto everlasting life, which the Son of Man give unto you. For him hath God the Father sealed. Check this out. So they try to make him a king, and they said, isn't this the prophet? And just because he fed you guys and cured your diseases, and not because he preached the kingdom and he preached salvation and gave parables and taught the people the way of salvation. No, because I ate and I was filled. No, because I got leprosy. Master, I'm not going to follow you because I want to be saved, but I'm going to follow you because I just want to be healed from leprosy. But check how blinded these people were. Then said they unto him, what shall we do that we might work the works of the Most High? And Yeshua then answered and said unto him, this is the work of the Most High, that you believe on him whom he hath sent. So they're seeking him to make him a king, but you don't believe on him. But check this out. They said therefore unto him, what sign shewest thou then, that we might see and believe that thou doest the work? I just fed 5,000 of you. You followed me before I fed you guys. You followed me because you've seen the miracles of the diseases I healed. I haven't even told you, believe me for the very work's sake. You've seen me heal all matters of sickness and diseases. And did you see truckloads or wagons of food to feed 5,000 people? You only seen us, apostles and us, and yet all you guys were fed. Where did this food come from? Have you took the time and thought, where is all this food coming from to where we're all eating and we're filled? We didn't see them bring any of this much food with them. So they've seen it and they still say, show us a sign. Show us a sign. This is how blinded he had these people. It's like let me try to use another analogy, because some people be like, oh, I'm gonna just use the analogy. The black woman be like, where are all the good men? Where are all the good men? There's a good man, but they're just not 6 foot. There's good fathers. They're just not 6 foot. There's good ones out there. You friend zone them. They walk by you every day. Almighty, send me someone. He sends you someone and then you don't receive it. You're blinded. You're blinded. You're delusional. When you see someone in their 40s and 50s and, oh, I haven't found my person and I haven't found the right one, you've passed by plenty of right ones. But, oh, he this, or, oh, stuff that's superficial. A good father, that's character, and that's values, and that's merit. A good husband, merit. A good leader, merit. A good pastor of his home, merit and character and quality and value and virtue. Those things do not have an appearance. You just look at the 6 foot, or you look at he's the bad boy, or you look at how much money he makes, and he don't make 6 figures. So the Almighty sends you this stuff. He sends you this. It's right in your face, and then you just blinded. I just can't find the right one. You could be in a room with 5 guys that will make perfect husbands, and yet you'll still say, I can't find one. Same thing with you guys. I don't feel bad when they get over on you, and you're broke, and you're living in a studio because you got to pay child support or alimony, and they did you in and whatnot. You know what a ratchet is. And you chose because she looked good, and you just followed, and oh man, look at this. And you want something that was it's shiny on your shoulder when you walk to the beach or to the store or whatnot, and then it ruined your life. And it's like you've seen the signs, but you was being blinded. Salvation came onto these people. And not only it came onto these people, it healed all manners of sickness and diseases. It also straight fed you guys. And you said, show us a sign that we might believe the works. You're blinded. It's right in your face. It's right in your face. And yet they still couldn't say it, they couldn't receive it unto salvation. Let's keep going. And Yeshua answered and said unto him, that you may believe on whom he hath sent. And then therefore they said unto him, what sign shewest thou then, that we may see and believe what thou doest the work? And he says, our father did eat manna in the desert, as it is written, and he gave bread from heaven to eat. Where do you think you just got fed 5,000 of you men, not including women and children? Where did you think that came from? And then when he says, I'm the bread from heaven, but where did you think all that food came from? It's funny how it says, one shall come unto you like unto me. Moses says, one shall come unto you like unto me. Moses fed the people in the wilderness through manna and the quails and whatnot, right? Through the Almighty. Yeshua comes on the scene and literally does the same exact thing. You guys are in the wilderness and he feeds 5,000 of you, not including women and children. And you say, show us a sign because Moses fed his manna. This is how blinded these are. This is how blinded some men are when they're picking, oh, there ain't no good women out there. Man, they walk right by you. But you're looking at the wrong things. You're going by sight. When the Almighty chose David, Samuel came. It was like, surely this guy's tall, and surely this guy, oh, he's buff, or this guy. And he says, no, the man judges man after appearance, but the Almighty judges after the heart. As you're a brother and a sister in the Most High, we need to start judging people off their character, off of morals, off of values, and not off of appearances. A lot of people, I am lower, super low middle class. Let's say the lowest part of middle class, because the middle class is shrinking and shrinking. I am middle class. And there's people that are multimillionaires, that are pedophiles, that are racists, that are narcissists, that are women abusers. There's people that make way more money, but their character is flawed and they're devalued. They are valueless. They will make the worst husbands or the worst wives. They make good CEOs because they'll stab everyone in the back to get to the top. But they are terrible people because character, that value isn't judged by how shiny your car is, how big of a house is, how many cars you have in your parking lot. Character and value and morals and virtue and things, righteousness and holiness do not have a monetary weight to that. It has a spiritual weight to that. A faithful person, an honest person, I'll be around an honest, homeless person any day than a millionaire that's a liar and a thief. These same millionaires, they don't care. There's look at straight Walmart. They make more money than they could spend, and yet they made everyone part-time just because they don't want to pay health care. Also, because there's a bill that if they work 40 hours, I got to provide health care, I'm just going to make every one person 32 hours a week. And they made all their employees, the majority of their employees, 32 hours a week so they could just go ahead and get health care, which we're going to deal with in a little bit. So, but they have way more money than they can spend, but just because the greed, which once again, you can't see greed, but that's a behavior that has no value to it, and bam, in like manner. Show us the sign. Our fathers did eat manna in the desert is written in bread. It says he's giving you the sign, and yet you can't see it. You're blinded. Let's keep going. Now, let us serve the Almighty for the right reasons. Now, I'm going to show you scriptures where he's dealing with people that serve the Most High. And still, even with us serving, these are people that are just coming or just hearing the Almighty's words. What about the people that serve the Most High and still do things for the wrong reasons? Let's go with praying. James chapter 4. And the reason why I like to use like women and men, because the whole Bible is about marriage. And the best way for me to describe that for you guys is, would you date someone? Like when I use the example, when you're not fully trying to serve the Almighty and you say, I'm doing 99%. I'm doing 99% of what the Almighty's doing, and that should be okay. And in your mind, 99%, that works for high school, and that works for, you have it accurate with that there's no heavy metals in the food that it's 99% pure and gold and stuff like that. But I say, if your wife is faithful to you 99% of the time, but 1% of 365 is 3 hours, it's 3 days and 6 hours. But if she cheats on you 3 days, 3.5 days, right? We'll just say 3 days out of the year, she cheats on you. But the other 99%, or if your husband cheats on you for 3 days out of the year, but the 99 perfect, cooks, clean, humble, this, she's the best husband, he's the best husband or the best wife, but just 1%, they cheat on you. Would you still say it? You'll say no. But then we're the bride of the Most High, and then would we want the Almighty to take our 99%? I'm just saying, why would you want the Almighty to take something you wouldn't even take? It says we're the bride of Mashiach. It says that he may keep us as a chaste virgin, meaning our garments are white, not even spotted by the sins of the flesh, not even spotted by the flesh, that we have clean garments. Let's keep going. James chapter 4, verse 1. James chapter 4, verse 1. For where it comes wars and fightings among you. Now he's talking to the people in the body of Amashiach. The other two examples are people that are not even, they're just coming to hear Amashiach when he came on the scene. These are people that are serving. Even your lusts and wars in your members. You lust and have not. You kill and desire to have, and you cannot attain. You fight a war and yet you have not, because you ask not. Oh, I need to ask. You ask and you receive not. Why? Because you ask in a mist, that you may consume it upon your lust. Sometimes you pray to the Most High in a mist. You're praying for the wrong reasons. Some of you guys pray for money, but what would you do with it? Will it equate to you reading more? Would it equate to, like, some of you guys have got increases and you fed the homeless even less. You gave less to help the brothers and sisters. You don't do any more for the Most High. It doesn't help you outreach more. It doesn't help you, but you keep praying for more money, but you keep doing equal or less than what you've been doing the year before. What's the point? What does it avail? It says that you should be ready to distribute when you increase. You should be more willing to help the brothers now that I increase. I should be more ready to, I could be able to help more homeless people or more needy people or more people that needs food or needs clothes. I should be able to go, you know what, this person needs some shoes. I'll go to Payless. There's no more Payless. I could go to Ross or whatnot. Go to Walmart, Kmart, whatever. There's $25 shoes. Spend $25. Find out what size this homeless. Hey, you need some shoes. All right, what's the shot? I'll wear 10 and a half. Go to Walmart, buy some beat up shoes. I mean, they're not beat up, but brand new, but they're just Walmart shoes. They're not the best quality. For $25, come back, drop them off some shoes. I ain't doing that. Exactly, but yet you keep praying for money. You praying in a mess. Yet you keep praying. You keep praying for a wife. Let's use a man. Let's deal with the man. Praying in a mess. Pray for a wife, right? Oh, I want a wife. I want a wife. I want a wife. But if you want a good wife, you have to be a good man. I've learned that it all falls on me. If I want to improve my marriage, I need to be a better leader. If I want to improve my marriage, I need to be a better husband. I need to be a better man, which leads to a better husband, which leads to a better leader, which leads to a better congregation. I need to just become better. There's no way. You will not make more money than the value you bring to the world. For you to increase, whether financially, spiritually, social status, you have to increase your value. If you're in the gym and you want to be on your phone and get too much rest time, you will not get the results you want. Every increase you get, so you want a good wife, but you do not want to change and be a better man, it's just not going to happen, especially in the Most High, because he's not going to give you one of his daughters. He's not going to do it. He's not dumb. What? He says, cast out your pearls before the swine. Your behavior is swine behavior. You spend your money, don't save your money, don't invest your money, your leadership capabilities, your public speaking capabilities, your teaching capabilities. Could you get a wife and teach them the word? No, you can't, because you don't read. You're a man that doesn't read his Bible, but say yet you believe. But you want a good wife. But you don't want to be a better man. You want to be a better father. Once again, you got to be a better man. You want to have more increase. You got to go to school. You got to be skilled, increase your skill at your craft. You got to outwork people. You have to add more value. Your monetary situation, barely fewly, unless you inherited some money, it will not outpace your value. As your value increases, so does your income. If you want a higher income, if you want a better life, be a better person. Like manner, you pray for these things, so you want to get value. Usually you're praying, Almighty, give me a wife, or Almighty, give me make me more money, or Almighty, but yet you do not want to increase your intrinsic value, the faith without works. You're praying in a mess. This is why your prayers don't get answered. Not all of them, because we're going to get in that, but this is why your prayers don't get answered, because you're praying in a mess. If you want to, there's some things that's outside of your control. If your wife is a sinner, there's nothing you can do. Either you got to just separate and reconcile later on. I didn't say divorce, because if you didn't cheat, right? I say if you got to separate, you got to separate. There's, I can't force a person to not be racist against Hebrews, right? You can't. You know what I'm saying? You just do what you do. But if you want to improve, the part that you can improve is being a better husband, is improving on yourself. Having more patience, having more mercy, having more understanding, being able to communicate better, increasing your value, getting better in shape. Some of you guys are just, your marriage sucks because you're out of shape. Get in shape. Get in shape. Have some discipline. Have some discipline in what groceries you bring in your house, right? So you pray in a mess and you don't even know it, because you think, Almighty, I really want to open. I'm struggling. This and this and this. I got a kid on the way. This and this and this. And if the Almighty say, hey, do you want to go to night school? No. Do you want to get your resumes to get a better paying job? No. Do you want to do this? No. You're praying in a miss. You're praying in a miss. Everything evolves around you. The collapse of any society is the collapse of the father and is the collapse of the man. You know why the pedophiles reign is because the men don't stand up and condemn these. Whoever's the judges aren't going to say, you know what, the death penalty for pedophiles. Let's end this pedophile once and for all, and let's make it when we catch people, there's a death penalty. Let's not protect people on Epstein Island. Now, if we make it severity and the real men stepped up and did their job, the wickedness wouldn't roll. The few pedophiles get to roam rampant because the righteous people are the people that have some morals. I'm not going to say they're righteous. Don't want to step up. It all starts with the man. So same thing. When we pray, you women out there aren't guiltless too. Make sure we're doing our part. Don't pray in a miss. One, they're praying for the wrong reasons. And two, you could pray and then don't want to step up for accountability. Your value, your monetary value will not outpace your value that you increase in yourself. Where you are financially, or spiritually, or emotionally, because some of you guys need counseling, you choose not to go to counseling, then you choose to stay broken. You choose not to self-counsel, then you choose to stay broken. If you choose not to receive accountability, then you choose to stay broken. Because if I'm never accountable for my anger issue, or my being impulsive, or being condescending, or being selfish, or being a narcissist, if I never take accountability for that, then I don't have to change. And if I don't have to change, then I stay broken. And then we're trying to get, especially the saints of the Most High, people that's trying to serve the Homo, we are trying to be healed. It says there was healing in that tree. There's healing in the leaves. He came to heal sickness and diseases. And so this gospel came to heal. We're trying to bring health and healing. And you can't be healed for something you're not accountable. It's me sending someone, an alcoholic, to Alcoholic Anonymous or AA meeting and be like, I don't have a problem. I just drink every once in a while. He cannot be healed because he doesn't want to acknowledge that he has a drinking problem, right? In like manner, when we pray, make sure we're not praying in a miss. Make sure what we're praying for is the right reason, and make sure it increases your value, meaning you're going to be, oh, I want more money. Are you going to feed the homeless more? Are you going to outreach? Are you going to visit your brothers and sisters and stop by? If you're not going to increase working in his vineyard or in his field more, then what's the purpose? To get more money, but I'm not going to work in his vineyard and work in his field to bring more souls to the Almighty. I'm not going to do any more. Why? That's praying in a miss. How does that benefit the Most High? Our job is to seek and save that which is lost. I work that's just a job. My occupation and my true calling is to work in his vineyard. The job is just to pay bills. I'm looking for new heaven, new earth, and new Jerusalem. That's just my job. That's what I do to leave an inheritance to my kids and do this. But I'm looking for new heaven, new earth, and new Jerusalem. He called me to work in his vineyard. So when I pray, my prayers need to be, and it correlates with me seeking and saving souls. Yes, more money is good. But, hey, surviving in the States, yeah, for sure, just surviving in the States. So we could fast for the wrong reasons too. If we could pray for the wrong reasons, we could fast for the wrong reason. Isaiah 58, and we almost done because I got to get into some news. Isaiah 58. Verse 1. Isaiah 58, verse 1. We're going to read the whole chapter. Cry aloud, spare none. Lift thy voice like a trumpet. Show my people their transgression and the house of Israel their sins. And I like that scripture because this is why the gospel doesn't grow in true congregation. It's because people like smooth things. They like the T.D. Jakes and the Joel Osteen and Cliff O'Donnell. They like those. Those are dying out. With the economy, that prosperity gospel is dying out. It's kind of like crypto. When crypto's big, you see all these crypto influencers. Yeah, crypto this and this. And now it's a bear market and this, and these cryptos are going down. You know, where are you guys at? What happened? I thought we're cool. We're going to be millionaires. And this is going to 15 cents or it's going to 2. Where are you guys at? It's the same thing when the economy is doing good. Joel, you could do it in the gospel. Almighty's going to bless. And doing all these mega churches, 35,000, whatever. and their churches are collapsing. Joel Osteen's church is like half, like they're like daily decreasing. That prosperity gospel will only work so long. It will only work so long because prosperity, once again, we just talked about this. You will not increase your monetary value without increasing your mental value. The value, you have to mentally be more valuable, understand how money works, investing, saving. You have to increase your character and the value you are as a person to increase your monetary value. No matter how much I preach, the Almighty knows and He cares and He's going to do this, it will not happen. Few times you may do a video and it goes viral and you didn't intend for it to go viral and you made a whole bunch of money, but you're not going to keep it because mentally you're not stable. You could give 1 million people $1 million and almost 1 million of them will be broke at the end of 3 years. It's proven the majority of lottery winners are broke within 5 years. Why? They're not mentally valuable. And so you give them the money and they're just going to blow it. It does not matter. In like manner, those prosperity preachers worked while the economy is doing good. But now you didn't heal their mind and you didn't provoke them onto good works. And because they're not mentally fortified to know how money works, and money is a tool and not a means to find happiness. I don't happy because I buy this car, and I'm happy because I have this house, and I'm happy. Money is a tool, not a means to find happiness. And once you get that, because money's not our God, the Almighty is, then you don't even look at money the same. It's just a tool to get things done. My happiness is coming and spending time with the family, saving souls, making the Almighty happy, bringing people to baptism. My happiness is going to the gym. It has nothing to do with financial things. Happiness is in oneself. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, we'll be happy when we're bored in the room because we're in trouble and you had that fan and you just be singing songs in that fan because it made your voice all messed up. You found happiness. You were super bored. There was nothing to do, or it was a rainy day or something else, or you were in trouble and you couldn't go outside. And all you had is that fan, so you just start singing into that fan and just been chilling. That's what you do, right? But let's keep going. Isaiah 58 verse 1. Show my people their sin and the house of Israel their sin. Yet they seek me daily, and delight to know my ways, as a nation that did righteous and forsook not the ordinance of the Most High. And they ask of me the ordinance of justice, and they take delight in approaching the Most High. Oh, that's what's up. Man, I got to give it to them. They coming to the Most High. They coming to Him. They coming to the Most High. They want justice. They want to seek righteousness, right? Wherefore we fasted, say they, and thou seest not. Wherefore we afflicted our soul, and thou take no knowledge. Behold, the day of your fast you find pleasure and exact all your labors. It's like trying to fast and play video games. You're not afflicting yourself. You know what I'm saying? Not only you fast, you're supposed to afflict yourself from pleasure. It's like fasting and still having sex with your wife. That's not a fast. Yeah, you're not eating, but you're finding pleasures in other means, right? So you're doing it wrong. But let's see why they're doing it. Where it says, "Behold, you fast for strife and debate, and to smite with the fist of wickedness. You shall not fast as this day to make your voice be heard on high." You fasting because, man, I got a big debate. I'm going to be fasting to the Most High so I can come strong. I'm going to come powerful. You fasted for the wrong reasons. You're fasting and you're supposed to be seeking the Almighty and humbling yourself, but you're doing for strife and debate. You're doing it for the wrong reasons. And He's talking about the people that's coming to the Most High. He's not talking about the multitude that He fed and the lepers that fed that really didn't know or wasn't in the gospel or wasn't serving the Most High that just heard Him from village to village. He's talking about the people. You seek my ordinance and you seek justice and you come before me. And yet you're fasting for the wrong reasons. These lepers, 9 of the lepers came for the wrong reasons. And the people were trying to make Him a king. And yet they still did it for the fishes and the loaves. And now these people coming and fasting, humbling themselves before the Most High, so they think. And once again, I take no knowledge because you're doing it for the wrong reasons. Let's keep going. Let's get into the right reason. Behold, you fast for strife and debate, to smite with the fist of wickedness. You shall not fast as you do this day, to make your voice be heard on high. It's such a fast that I've chosen a day to a man to afflict his soul and bow his head down as a bulrush, and to spread sackcloth and ashes under him, to call this a fast and acceptable day of the Almighty, and humble yourself, right? Is it not a fast that I have chosen, that you loose the bands of wickedness, that you undo heavy burdens, and you let the oppressed go free, that you break every yoke? Some of those people really struggling to get over cigarettes, maybe you need a fast. You're struggling to get over lust, maybe you need a fast. You're struggling with this situation, you're trying to undo. You're struggling because you want to pray over your family. You see where depression, or you see where wickedness or addiction or something is troubling your home and plaguing your home. Our house has a procrastination problem. There's nothing that I need to fast over, but it's like, no, we are going to stop that. You know what I'm saying? It was, oh, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. No, 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 no. And that's like one thing. If you see that there's areas your family could do higher, we need to nip this in the butt. Our default setting is get it done that day. I planned it this day. It's in the alarm clock this day. I'm going to do it this day. If it's not, there'll be a second day. If I have to, then I'll bump it back. But even if I stay up late, I'm going to get it done. And we close the loop. And you get a pattern of completing tasks on the day that you set. That's the pattern. You have a 90% rate that if I plan it this day, I'm doing it this day. Yes, there's those 10%, car breaks down, I got sick, this and this, unknown situation, weather, whatever. That's totally different. But if it's in my control, it's getting done that day. It's in my control and I still procrastinate. No. And that's the thing, is when you see these areas with your family and you're fasting, Almighty, we have this situation. It's depression. Or Almighty, we have this situation. Every time we come together, we're always arguing and they're fighting, or there's rivalry or whatever, right? Whatever's troubling your family, fast for that stuff. Fast for your family. Is your family worth fasting for? Get this thing together, right? Get this thing together. Lock this thing in, right? So, that you break every yoke. This is why he chose to fast, not this wickedness and for debate and for strife. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep going. Is it not to deal that bread to the hungry, and that they'll bring the poor and that are cast out to the house? And when thou seest a naked, that they'll cover him, that they'll hide not themselves from thy own flesh? Like, hey, if you see the brothers or the sisters, or you see a random person needs some shoes, then help them out. If you have some extra pair of shoes, right? It says if you have 2 coats, give them one they have none. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we do when we fast. Go out there and try to feed the homeless if you have the opportunity, or help out the poor and the needy. Be a blessing to someone. We had some extra stuff, and I was like, just be a blessing to a random person. Be a blessing to someone we don't know. And we always going to have, we have our little circle and beliefs and whatnot, and people, and when you say, hey, you want this or want this, they'll always have their opportunity. But go to someplace far, go to someplace you don't know, and just be a blessing. You don't even know them. You'll probably never see them again, but be a blessing. You know what I'm saying? Because it's nothing to bless your friends and family. He even said that when you have a family, you only bless your friends and family. What thing have you? But when you get the poor and the neighbor or the stranger that can't pay you back, that's where the blessing comes in, right? So let's keep going. Then the light shall break forth as morning, and thy health shall spring forth speedily, and thy righteousness shall go before thee, and the glory of the Lord shall be thy reward. You get a reward out of fasting when you do it for the right reasons. But if you do it for the wrong reasons, it says, let's see what happens if you do it for the wrong reason. Wherefore we have fasted, and thou seest not. Wherefore we are afflicted our souls, and thou taketh no knowledge. He don't receive it. He don't acknowledge it. So if I'm going to fast and I'm going to afflict myself, do it all the way. Don't just still be intimate with my wife, or still eat, play video games, and still go to the park and go to go-kart and do it. If I'm going to do it, I might as well do it right. And then if I'm going to do it right, I might as well do it for the right reasons. Right? Let's keep going. A couple more scriptures and let's get out of here. Right? Matthew 27. Verse 50. Matthew 27, verse 50. Yeshua, when he had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the ghost. This is when Yeshua got crucified, or hung on the tree. And behold, a veil of the temple was rent twain from the top of the bottom, and the earth did quake, and the rocks rent, and the graves were opened, and many bodies of the saints which slept arose. And there came out, it said slept too, by the way, and they came out the graves after his resurrection, and went into the holy city, and appeared unto many. Now when the centurion and they that were with him watching Yeshua saw the earthquake and those things that were done, they feared greatly, and said, truly, this was the Son of the Most High. And many women were there beholding afar off, and followed Yeshua from Galilee, and ministered unto them. Among them, which was Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James, and Jose, and the mother of Zebedee's children. And when they were come, they came to a rich man of Arimaeus named Joseph, or Yosef, who also himself was Yeshua's disciples. He went to Pilate and begged the body of Yeshua, and Pilate commanded that the body should be delivered. And when Yeshua had taken the body, he wrapped him clean in cloth. Right. Now, the multitude that came and crucified him wasn't just only Pharisees, Sadducees, and scribes. The multitude came. Some people came to see what was going on. Some people came because they believed in him. Some people came because they didn't believe in him. But his own people crucified him. And then even unto his death, you had some people that came for the right reasons, and some people came for the wrong reasons. And I'm not even talking about the Sadducees and the scribes and whatnot, because they were persecuting him. They were coming and they wanted him dead. But I'm talking about there were people that he fed and yet came and didn't stand up for him. There were people that seen the miracles, because it wasn't just the Sadducees and whatnot. And they came to his crucifixion, still, even onto his death, for the wrong reasons. Let's keep going. 1 John chapter 3. 1 John chapter 3. Verse 22. Let's get it. It says, and whatsoever we ask, we shall receive of him, because we keep his commandments and do those things pleasing in his sight. Now that's a good promise. Whatsoever we shall ask, we shall receive of him. Sometimes I get scared to pray. And I know that doesn't make sense. And I'm not even going to say scared. I get hesitant to pray. Because sometimes you pray and you don't, I've learned that because you don't know the future, you pray for the present, and you don't want the Almighty to answer that prayer. And that's why you need to finish with let the will be done. There was a time I was in Phoenix. I'll never forget this time. And I prayed because I was getting 22, 24 hours at this company ABM, and all the other companies. And I tried to do Amazon Flex on the side, and my phone wouldn't work, or they said they couldn't have it. They didn't know anyone in that area. I tried to do this other one that was like an Amazon Flex, but for like UPS. I forgot the name of the company. I couldn't switch companies because since I was a traveler, I couldn't go to the companies, and they were getting 50-hour weeks. And for like 2 months, I was so hot, dude. Like out of every company, I came to this company, the one, and I'm like the only sheet metal worker that's not getting 50 hours. Out of every traveler, all these travelers at this company is getting 50 hours, and I'm the only one at this company out of this whole job site that's a traveler that's not getting 50 hours, getting 24, getting less than 40 hours. And I was praying and praying and praying, and sure enough, they within a month or two, they immediately start cutting. People got laid off. They got slow. It was just like out of nowhere, like clicking on a light switch. They just lay off 10 the next week. Lay off these companies. These other 4 companies start laying people off. Travelers were gone, right? And then we're testing balance. We come after this, and now we're getting 10s, 12s, 14s. Bam, 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 bam. And it showed me like, man, dude, when you pray for the present, but the Almighty knows the future. And it's almost like, Almighty, I'm praying for this, but you know the future. And if it's not beneficial, please don't answer this prayer. Like that's it. I learned that. And it was a second situation where I was praying for something. And if the Almighty would have answered it exactly how I wanted it, it would have been to my own demise, not to my destruction, but it would have been for the present and not for the future. And so whatsoever we ask, we shall receive, because we keep his commandments and do those things pleasing in his sight. And this is why it says the Holy Ghost pray for things not to pray for. And as we seek the Most High, it's like, Almighty, this is what I want, pray for this, but let your will be done. But Almighty, if you can answer this prayer and it will not hinder my future, next year, 6 months, 2 years from now, please answer this prayer. And he knows that we only know the present, and he knows the future. And this is why sometimes some of these prayers don't work. And sometimes you guys, we don't understand the benefit of pain. We run from pain before we develop the endurance and perseverance to outgrow it. Some people run right when they get to the point where they're going to build some muscle. Right when it starts to burn, they drop the weight. right? Drop the weight. But when you have the burn and you get those extra 5 reps, that's when you rip. That's when you force blood and you get the micro tears and you build back stronger. You get the micro tears. But imagine a person right when it burns, they stop. Right when it burns, they stop. And in 2 years, they won't even look like they've been to the gym. Because right when it got tough, they didn't pass through the pain. And that's how life is sometimes he puts you in a place not to bless you monetary, because we always think, oh, the Almighty wants me to get a car, but to bless you mentality. Because if he could get your value here, then you could grow here. For you to want a good wife and you're 18 years old, you need to learn about money, learn about not being afraid of contentions and setting boundaries for yourself on the job side, for the kids. You need to learn about discipline, time management, money management, leadership capabilities. You need to learn your Bible. It's because you need to be able to teach your wife and teach your kids. There's so much things you need to develop. And so if you want a wife, then the Almighty's going to send you through this fire, right? And then you're wondering, oh, why I got to work here? Because you got to learn to pay attention to detail. This job, you have to pay attention to detail. You cannot be slipping up. Bam. Why is this? Because you got to be on time. Because there's people depending on you. Because eventually your wife's going to. So you're getting put in all these positions and you feel like, man, I'm not making any more money. I'm still broke. I'm doing this. And it's building character. And once again, that's the values you need. You have to increase yourself with your character, and inward value will not exceed outward value. They go hand in hand. And so, whatsoever we ask, we shall receive, because we keep his commandments and please do those things pleasing in his sight. And he's going to bring us through the flame. And if we understand the value of pain, then we know that it's not even bad. Pain is not bad. Pain is for us to learn, what can I gather out of this? We had a conversation, me and Sister Winnie had a conversation, and it got a little warm. It wasn't like a heated debate or argument. It got warm, but it yields edification out of it. Sometimes boundaries, and you need opposing views to smack dead on. And you think, oh man, you guys, no, sometimes you need these opposing views to hit dead on. And then what comes out of that is, all right, something fine and polished and prestige. And we don't see that. Every time it gets warm, I'm getting off the phone. Every time, oh, I'm leaving. Oh, I'm going home. Oh, I ghost you. Oh, I'm this. Some of you guys are single because as soon as you get a little bump in the road, you ghost them. And then you wonder why you're chronically single, man or woman. It's like, no, you got to work through that, right? Whatsoever we ask, we shall receive, because we keep his commandments, do those things pleasing in his sight. But you understand, with the increase of anything you pray for, there has to be an increase of value inwardly. Always remember that. Let's keep going. Last scripture. John chapter 5. I didn't even get to the news because we started a little late. John chapter 5, verse 14. Let's get it. And this is the confidence that we have in him. If we ask anything according to his will, he heareth us. So not only the things that we ask, we need to be asking for the right reasons, right? Come to the Almighty or fast for the right reasons. We shall receive, if it's according to his will. If I say, Almighty, I want to be a doctor, but he wants you to be a minister, his answer will be no, because I need you to teach the gospel, right? And that will pull too much time and energy from you teaching the gospel, right? Well, you could probably do both. No, I don't. No, just hear me out here. Yeah, you could try to say you could do both or whatever, right? But for the most part, right? Let's deal with the majority. It has to be according to his will. A lot of things we ask is only beneficial to us. If we make most of our prayers where it benefits the congregation and or the Almighty as well, it's more likely to come through. Because when Solomon prayed, he prayed, give me wisdom to lead your people. And he said, because you didn't pray for money or to avenge your enemies or long life or wealth, you pray for wisdom to lead my people. Look what he got out of it. Now, if I'm praying, Almighty, I want to save souls, then I need to be able to go out there and have the social capabilities to talk to all manners of life, to the rich, to the poor. I need to work on my public speaking. I need to work on knocking on doors. I need to do this. There's areas I need to improve, and let me be a good steward of the people you bring my way. Even if I'm here to plant seed and they go into salvation at a different congregation, let me be a good steward that you sent this person my way, and we gave them all the information, all the encouragement, and all the support that they need for this seed to germinate and grow onto salvation. Let me be the best. If I want souls, if I want to bring joy to the Most High and I want souls, then that means I have to be a better steward. And not saying I'm a bad steward, but the more souls you get, the more responsibility and no more weight and more you need to bear, more you need capabilities. You know, there's a difference between a mother that has 4 or 5 or 6 or 10 children and the skill level versus a woman that has 1. And the one that has 1 may not be capable to just all of a sudden, they got quadruplets, you know what I'm saying? They get 4 all at one time, and they're going to struggle and they're going to make a lot of mistakes. Because it's like, versus I had 1, then I had 2, then I had 3, then I had 4, and bam, they grow into that, right? In like manner. Hey, let us pray, let us fast, let us seek the Almighty for the right reasons. Let us not pray in amiss, and let us remember, for every increase we want in any area, there has to be inward increase. And expect that. If you want more money, he might make you get fired from this job, and you to go to 3 months of just having faith in him and being broke to open up a door for you to have another job. But during those 3 months, you learn how to use your money better, you learn a new craft, you learn a new hobby, you start a new business, and now you started this business. Says, man, I would have never started this business if I didn't get laid off, because I was making good money at this job. But now I make 3 times more money than I did at this job. If I didn't get laid off, and the Almighty lets you get laid off, close that door, and you had to go through the fire and the pain to come out like a fine, shiny, sharp sword, hard as steel. And we don't understand that sometimes. That's how he works. He's his children. Why do we use the belt? To discipline and teach them. Why do I have my kids do alarm clock? To learn time management. Put it in your alarm clock. Oh, I forgot. Put it, if you say you're going to do it that day, keep your yays. If they learn how to keep their yays within themselves, then they'll learn how to keep their yays with everyone else. And so, Kamari, what day you're going to do that? I'm going to do that Wednesday. Put it in your phone. Put it in your alarm clock. Put it in the alarm clock. Put a second day just in case if something happens that you have a second day. That's a good time so you do it. Or if you didn't hear your alarm clock till it's too late, your phone was in the room and you're outside or whatnot, you came back in and you missed it, put a second day. And they learn that, hey, set a date and a time for every task. Don't just put it on things to do list and I'll just get to it. It means nothing. I'll do this and it doesn't. This day I'm gonna do this day that I'm gonna do this at this time, and it becomes a pattern, and that pattern becomes a default setting, and he learns how to keep his yays to himself. So now when he goes to the workforce, or my daughter goes to the workforce, or whatever, yeah, I could do that day. Yeah, I'm able to do that. Oh, I could accomplish that in about a couple hours. I could do that, and his word is his bond. Her word is his bond. And when they shake on it, or when they say it, if I know Ariel said it, it's gonna get done. She said she's gonna do it, it's gonna get. I might as well just say it's done. I don't even need a question. It's done. If Kamari says he's gonna do it, it's done. Now, hey, did you do? Oh man, I forgot. Oh well, I've been busy. Oh no. With a quick little note, I had to stop myself from copping out the other day. Last night, we were trying to outreach, and I'm supposed to outreach on my alarm clock on Sunday, and then I didn't do it. And first thing, default setting that, I'm trying to get out of that. First default setting, man, I've been busy. I've been trying to look for a car, and then I've been, doing this, and I've been having to work on Sundays, and this and this and this. First instinct is to find excuses why I couldn't complete a task instead of manning up and said bad time management. I didn't prioritize outreach and making a simple 15-minute phone call. I didn't have time to make a 15-minute phone call, right, per person. So 3 phone calls, 45 minutes out of this whole week. I could only do it Sunday. And it was a cop-out excuse. And I was mad at myself because it's like, no, dude, we don't do that. We don't do that. Take accountability and just change. Be a better man. Oh, I just been busy and this and that and this. First thing. And that's the thing. We have to get out of our default setting of using cop-out excuses and take accountability. Why didn't I close the loop? The alarm clock comes on Sunday, run your loop, outreach, call these brothers and sisters, or call the people that we're working on that's making steps to salvation, and do your job. Quit making excuses and do your job. It's just 15-minute, 10-minute call for this person, 10-minute call, 30 minutes, 30, 45 minutes. No excuses. No excuses. Then that means I have poor time management. That means I didn't prioritize the things that's important, like saving souls like I should. Making a phone call and attempt to bring souls to salvation, that should have priority over the gym, have priority over looking for a car. That should have some priority. And I didn't make it a priority. And I use a cop-out excuse. And that's what I'm trying to, as we all grow, and I don't mind confess your faults, I'm growing out of that. And sometimes, yesterday I relapsed and went back to an old default setting. I'm trying to get rid of that default setting and say, I close the loop. If I say I'm going to get it done, it's going to get done. If I didn't get it done, take accountability, man up, and don't say I was busy. Oh, I've been too busy. That's a lie. I've been too busy to read my Bible. Liar. I've been too busy to pray. Liar. I've been so you too busy for 15 minutes. But yet I know you've been on, how many hours you spend on YouTube a day? Or Facebook, or Instagram. But you're too busy to read though, right? Liar. Liar. So, with all that said being done, let us not pray in the midst. Let us not fast in the midst. Let us not seek the Almighty in the midst. Let us do it for the right reasons. Let us live holy, live righteous, so He can hear our prayers and we can receive what we want. And let us take accountability for our actions. With every prayer, there will come a point for you to increase in value. For you to pray for something outward, you have to increase inward. And He's going to send you through that flame, And it's probably going to be pain. And through that pain, you will come out as pure gold. With all that said, be it done. Keep standing. Don't drop standing. Give the Almighty a hand clap. Shalom.